We have a lot of stuff to cover today. And I definitely want to start off by saying that it's a new week. There's new opportunities. It's you versus you. It's 1%. It's a brand new week. So for that being said, whatever losses or whatever you went through last week doesn't matter, right? It's a brand new fresh start. The score is 0-0. Now it's time for us to execute. And of course, I'm going to provide you the guidance when it comes to the stock market and crypto markets on things that you may want to consider or things you want to look out for when it comes to those markets. A quick reminder to everyone. Everyone right now is down. Every investor right now is down. And I want you to understand that. Why? Because oftentimes I get DMs where folks are upset, they're disappointed, they're not happy about how the things are. But right now, honestly, the market is definitely correcting itself. So if you are down when it comes to your portfolio, you shouldn't feel bad about that. It's okay to see red. Honestly, me personally, I love red days because red days allow me to buy in. And of course, I get a better entry price as well. So what you have to do is you have to understand what's going to be your plan and what are the different companies that you're going to be investing in. That's going to be critical for your portfolio long-term. So my portfolio long-term, as I said before, I have a heavy footprint when it comes to Microsoft. I own about 500 shares of Microsoft. I want to get to 1,000 shares. And I'm down right now. I'm down. Like there's days that I'm down 10,000. 20,000. And this is a time to go shopping. So me personally, I love when Microsoft down. Why? Because at the end of the day, when I buy, I will definitely get quicker to the 1,000 shares. I did a quick exercise in person for those that came to the event on Thursday in person here in Atlanta. And it was around knowing what's a 5-star investment. So I'm first going to start out with that. Can you drop in a chat or can someone come off mute and let me know when it comes to a company, what are the different things that you're looking at to ensure that that company, the money you're putting into that company is a 5-star investment? Drop it in the chat. Okay. Earnings. What else? PE ratio, fundamentals, market cap, the debt, the CEO. Okay. I like that, Brian. Leadership, EPS, low debt. What else? Profitable. Okay. Mission statement. I like that, Brian. Future projects, cash flow, volume, future of the company. So the vision of the company, how much money they're holding, vision and products. I like what Patricia said, vision and products. Why do we care about the products? Cash on hand is also very, very important, but why do we care about the products? Why do we care if Microsoft has 36 or 30 different lines of products? Future growth, the moat, competitor advantage. Yep. So the reason why is because, again, multiple streams. When you see that a company, and Crystal, I'll get to your hand right now. Whenever a company has multiple lines of products, it means that they have more ways to generate revenue. So James, congrats when it comes to that. Yes, 100%. And that's what I look into. So Microsoft is a company where we have Office, we have Surface, we have, services, we have ads. There's so many different departments that bring in revenue. And I think that almost every single department brings at least $2 billion a year. Crystal, if you want to come off mute, you have your hand raised. I'll go ahead and address your comment or question.
What I was going to say is if the company has a moat, like an industry advantage, something that a company has that other companies can't easily duplicate and get ahead of them in a business, in the field that they're in that category.
Can you give me an example of a company that has that type of?
Well, definitely Apple and Amazon have that kind of structure because, Apple has a lot of different security measures on their phone. They have a lot of advanced techniques on all of their products. So, and then they also have it where it's very hard for someone to use like Microsoft, software on their platform without having to pay. They have a lot of little criteria in there where it's hard for someone to just come in and compete with them at the level that they're at now. They could try in certain areas, but it's hard to just try to go in and to duplicate everything that Apple does, or even Amazon. Like Amazon, they can ship everywhere all over the world. Certain companies can't do that. They can ship locally or, just within the United States, but shipping all over the world in a small amount of time, having the warehouses, the staff, all of that makes a difference with them having the moat and advantage over other companies That's very hard to do if you don't have the capital to do it.
100%. Yeah. So when, again, you want to look at those industry leaders, right? And as you said, Crystal, having that competitive advantage will be a key differentiator. You know, Carrie Ann mentioned something critical about Apple. The reason why lots of folks like Apple is because, again, there's a lot of innovation, but on top of that is a status symbol. And let's be real, across our community, if somebody sends you a green message and they have an Android, they're looking at you sideways, right? If the iPhone 14 comes out tomorrow or iPhone 15 comes out tomorrow, and the only difference is that they add another camera because everybody out here is now a photographer, you best believe the next day it will be a line outside the Apple store. Why? Because they want, at the end of the day, is a cult of fans, right? So their fan base is a cult. That's why Apple will always win. They will always win. There's often times where people don't even know how to use a Windows computer and they go straight into a Mac because Mac is the cool thing to have. So it's more of a status symbol. And again, things like that is that you want to be able to identify when it comes to these companies. Why? Because that makes it, there's definitely a competitive advantage. The customers, people love Apple. Who cares if it's a status symbol? What you want to care about is that every single year, one, they're beating earnings. They have cash on hand. Number three, they're also, your money's also growing. So things like that is what I want you to look into when it comes to these companies. Why? Because at the end of the day, although most people are down, even Warren Buffett, he's down over 20% this year. He said it himself in an interview last week. You want to invest in these companies that are going to be here 5 to 10 years from now. Apple will definitely be here. Microsoft will definitely be here. Amazon for sure will definitely be here, right? Google for sure will definitely be here as well, right? So these are the things that I want you to look at. And it's okay to see red when it comes to your portfolio. Why? Because this is a time where you actually want to invest more and you want to, start to dollar cost average as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Crystal. Chanel, if it ain't blue, you already know. Okay, so you see, this is what I'm saying. Things like that is what I want you to look into. And Tony, I have to agree. Group messages, we definitely do suffer when we get the green bubble. I'm not gonna lie to you. So a couple of headlines that I do want to look at today is that these headlines are going to be very, very popular, especially today. This is the first week part of May. We have a whole new month now. April historically is a very bullish month in across the market. However, April was probably one of the worst months that we have seen since 2020. So we had a very brutal April, lots of selling across the S&P 500. And this now introduces, a new correction phase when it comes to the year of 2022. On top of that, we have no sort of direction at the moment. It's very, very choppy. That's why today we're going to cover how right now it is definitely a scalping market. If you're a scalper, this is your land. If you're not a scalper, this is where I want you to adapt and be able to be flexible. Because if you want to make money every single day and not get caught up when it comes to the choppiness, you definitely want to be able to at least learn how to scalp, right? So U.S. stocks, they struggle for direction after the NASDAQ's worst months since 2008. 2008 was the last recession. Do I think, or do people think that there's actually a recession coming? 100%. A recession is definitely coming. There's all the indicators in the world right now are indicating that indeed a recession is coming. When it comes to earnings last week, and actually the past 2 weeks, we had a copious amount of companies reporting earnings. Google, Netflix, Apple, and Amazon, they all dropped after earnings. So the whole scope behind this week is that investors are now going to look at whether or not these companies can actually recover. Are they going to recover, or are we going to have a continuation to the downside?